Hey, this is June from Turning Point Life Investment, and this is your market analysis for December 5th, 2009. Looking at the SPY 6-month daily view, you can see how the market has pretty much been in a sideways consolidation for almost a whole month. What's more interesting is what's been going on within these last 3 days. So going into a 5-minute view, you can see pretty much the same type of pattern has been occurring within the last 3 days, where we get a short burst, an attempt to break a new highs, but a lot of that enthusiasm just gets sold immediately, especially on Friday where we had a pretty decent job report, and then all of that bullishness just got sold immediately. So, in my view, that is somewhat of a bearish view. Okay, seeing how the highs are not being held up. But nonetheless, going back to hourly view, we are still in a consolidation range. 112 being the somewhat significant resistance, seeing how it was unable to hold above 112 for about 3 days. And of course, around this 109 area, that would be our next immediate support. So you can see pretty much this market has been sideways between 109 and 112 for a good few weeks. So once we are able to clear above 112, and more specifically, if we're able to close above 112, then that means that there's still residual bullishness in the market. However, if we actually break underneath 109 and close underneath 109, then that means there's a deeper correction to be held for the market. Okay, next we go into the VIX. Looking at the traders' sentiment, the VIX, huge gap up earlier last week. And notice what's happening. It's coming back, retested, and pretty much retested this gap right here. Okay, so if I were trading this as a stock, that it's building up support right now. So if it's building up support, there's a very good chance that it might even shoot higher. And if that is the case, then that's a bearish implication for the market. Overall, I mentioned that there's bearish divergence going on where the market makes a new high, but yet the VIX is not making a new low. So again, that's a bearish implications, and that's been very apparent with the VIX, and as well as a lot of the indicators as well. All right, so I'm just going to jump into gold real fast using GLD. Gold, I'm sure everyone knows, has been on pretty much a parabolic skyrocket towards new highs. But on Friday, we had this huge dark candle with a huge volume spike. Okay, that's a lot of profit taking right there. That's a lot of people taking their profits after enjoying a nice, decent ride higher. And who can blame them? You can see Stochastic has been overbought for almost a good month, right? And something like this is rather unsustainable without a deeper correction. So whether this is an overreaction or actually the beginning of a correction, we'll soon find out. But notice how it's always held up against the 20-day moving average ever since this rally started. So I wouldn't be surprised to maybe even see a few more days of consolidation. That's usually what happens when you have a huge dark candlesticks. But if there's more selling to be occurred, I'll expect a retest of this 50-day moving average as a possible good target to the downside.